30 and time for the Murray City Municipal Council for April 1st, 2025. And we are working on getting all council members here.
Yep, I was on my, yep. Thank you. I don't know. I'm not close to buzzing it.
Okay. Oh, there's Paul. Anyway, I'd like to welcome everyone. And I would appreciate it if you would all turn off your cell phones. And let's see who's here. We have Brooke, our recorder. She's not here, but she will be. Mayor Hales, GL Critchfield, who is our attorney. And council members present are Paul Pickett, Pam Cotter, Scott Goodman, Diane Turner, and Adam Hawk is joining us by phone. Are you there, Adam?
I'm there.
Okay. Anyway, so let's see. First off, we have the Pledge of Allegiance, which Jan Cox has said she would lead us in. Thank you, Jan. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Jan. All right, we have one set of minutes for March 4th, 2025. And I would appreciate a motion if there are no concerns or changes.
I move that we approve the minutes for March 4th, 2025.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. None opposed, so it passes. We have approved those minutes. Okay, we are at the portion of the council meeting for citizen comments. And so what we need to do is the comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Step to the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and fill out the required form. So, citizen comments is open.
Good evening, Mayor Hales and City Council members.
Your name, please?
My name is Roseanne Coleman. I'm a
Thank you, Roseanne.
Murray City resident.
Okay.
I am currently on the advisory board for the Murray Active Aging Center, AKA known as Murray Senior Center. I wanted to share my thoughts how the Senior Center has positively changed my life over the past few years. I began attending the center with a NIA class and have since taken classes in watercolor, Tai Chi, yoga, strength conditioning, and TRX, and many more classes. I am an avid pickleball player, first taking lessons at the Senior Center. My quality of life has improved, and I've met so many nice people and interesting people while attending. As you can probably guess, the center offers more classes and programs each month than anyone could possibly participate in. I also enjoy lunch there several times a week. I cannot emphasize enough how great the Murray Senior Center is for our community. I have even heard it has saved lives. I would encourage the council to continue building on this vital community resource. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Roseanne. Okay, if there are no more citizen comments, we'll continue on with the agenda. And we are at special recognition. So the first one is to consider a joint resolution of the mayor and the Municipal Council of Murray City, Utah, in support of the Murray Exchange Club by recognizing and declaring April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month. Mayor Hales will be presenting. Where is he? Oh, there he is. I should go.
I think it's kind of cool. You're kind of the one in the backbone of this, so. Thank you, council.
Can you hold on one second?
You bet.
We have some more Exchange Club members that just walked in. If they would like to come up
Come on
front.
up. Hi, Jay. So thank you again for allowing us to do this. This is an important matter that Murray City has been involved with many years. Sherry Van Bibber and others have been huge in this declaration, and I've asked Sherry if she'll read it. I am going to tell you that we're going to meet, remind me again, we're going to meet a week from yesterday at 5300 South and State, where it says Murray City, the big sign there, and we'll
In the parking.
yeah, in the parking, thank you. And the pinwheels will be there, is that correct, Sherry?
Yes.
So 6:30? 6 o'clock, 6 p.m., so if you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you. But I've asked Sherry if she will read this for us, and then I will do the part where I come to you guys.
Okay,
Okay? Thanks, Sherry.
thank you. We've had the opportunity to be doing this, our club started in 2002, am I right? Both of you?
May of 2002.
May of 2002, with the Murray Exchange Club, with the platform being prevention of child abuse, promoting Americanism and service to our youth and our community. So thanks for letting us be partners with you all for that long, and for sharing the Haunted Woods with us. Have to add that. This is a joint resolution of the mayor and the municipal council of Murray City, Utah, in support of the Murray Exchange Club, recognizing and declaring April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas the children of Murray are the future of our state's success, and investing in their general welfare, safety, and livelihood are the utmost important priority. And whereas all children deserve to grow up in a safe and nurturing environment to assure they reach their full potential as they grow and develop. And whereas the protection of children and strengthening of families is of concern and responsibility of all Murray citizens, because the wellness of our children affects our lives now and will continue to in the future. Whereas child abuse is a serious problem, with each child abuse case impacting an entire family and affecting the community as a whole. And whereas child abuse respects no racial, religious, socioeconomic, or geographic boundaries. And whereas all citizens of Murray need to become more aware of child abuse and its prevention within their respective communities, and actively encourage and support parents to raise their children in a safe and nurturing environment. And whereas preventing child abuse requires each member of the community to be attentive to the problems of the families, our families around us, and to commit to do everything we all can do to help. And whereas the National Exchange Club has adopted this cause as its national project and is supporting parent aid programs, parenting classes, educational programs, community service activities, tools, and is helping to make significant progress in stopping this crime against families and children. And whereas the Murray Exchange Club members are active and positive participants in the City of Murray in accordance with the standards of the National Exchange Club, and whereas the Murray Exchange Club is anxious and appreciative to share this worthwhile cause and opportunity with Murray City. Now, therefore, the Mayor and City Council of Murray, on behalf of the citizens of Murray, proclaim April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month, and we call upon all of our citizens to help renew their commitment to be educated to the impact of child abuse and join in working in working for its prevention within our communities. Be it further resolved that we are appreciative of the work, care, and concern that our victim advocates, police, and detectives put forth in dealing with these tough cases. It is our hope that child abuse numbers will decrease as families develop healthy, caring, nurturing, and loving relationships. And be it still further resolved, we commend the Murray Exchange Club for their continued efforts in helping families break free from this vicious cycle of child abuse. Our nation's greatest asset is our children. Our children deserve to grow up in a safe and nurturing environment and community to assure they reach their full potential.
Thank you. I wanted to be part of that. Thank you. Again, we want to say how much we appreciate you taking this on for, it was 2002, you said. This is, like I said, a huge deal to Murray City, and we love being a part of this, so thank you for involving us. And
It's actually been a national.
go ahead, come here.
Since 1974, it's been a national project for the Exchange Clubs. They celebrated their 100th anniversary on 2011, so been around a long time.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. All right, thank you again. So we will now turn it over to the council for approval and to adopt this first day of April 2025.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Sherry, and thank you, Exchange Club. We really appreciate your involvement in this. And I will take a motion.
I make a motion on the joint resolution of the mayor and the municipal council of Murray City, Utah, in support of the Murray Exchange Club by recognizing, declaring April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month. Thank you.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion?
Nope.
Okay, then would you please take the roll, Brooke?
Mr. Hawk,
Aye.
Mr. Pickett,
Aye.
Ms. Cotter,
Aye.
Mr. Goodman,
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. You want to say something?
Thank you for everything that you guys do.
Thank you for everything you guys do, too. And we invite everybody to come place pinwheels. We're going to be parked over at Costco on that corner and place them in front of the mural that's over there on April 7th. So please come join us to represent the cases that we have had in Murray over the past 2024.
April 7th at what time?
6
p.m.
6. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for staying there, Mayor.
Welcome. Thanks for reminding me.
So we are at number 2 of our special recognition, which is to consider a joint resolution of the Mayor and Municipal Council of Murray City, Utah, declaring Thursday, May 1st, 2025 as Murray Arbor Day. And we have Jan Cox and the Mayor presenting. Welcome, Jan.
Greg, come up. We gotta have Greg come up, huh?
Yeah.
Now, Jan said, I really want to read this. And I said, no, I want to do it. It was opposite. Okay. And in order to get her not go to St. George, I had to agree to that. So anyway, and Jan is our chair on the committee, and it's a brand new committee because we've just, how many, do we just have the 3 still? 3 on the committee
Yes.
still?
Yes.
We're looking for 2 more. But it's a great project that they always do, and they're involved with everything. They're the ones that are involved with the Christmas lights celebration that we do. And so it's just a wonderful thing, and we appreciate all that you do. So, and Greg too, thank you for being here, and I'll go ahead and read that. Whereas Arbor Day is observed throughout the nation, even throughout the world, on April 25th, 2025, as trees, whenever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas no exact value can be placed on a tree, as a true value in the eyes of the beholder, and the psychological, emotional, spiritual relationship between people and trees is far-reaching and complex. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of precious topsoil from wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, as well as provide fun, shade, cover, and even safety for us and other living creatures. And whereas in preparing for the future, Murray City is committed, and we have always been committed to do this for years, to managing the confined spaces along streets and near buildings so we have a peaceful coexistence between trees, utilities, buildings, and people. And whereas Murray City's Shade Tree and Beautification Commission has its prime objective, the beautification of our city by promoting the planting and care of trees and vegetation that will continually add beauty and value to our community, making it more enjoyable and desirable place to work, play, and live. As a Tree City USA now for 48 years, we are reminded that Murray is a city without equal. And therefore, we would like to turn that over to the council for to be approved, and this will be on for Thursday, May 1st, 2025 as Murray Arbor Day.
Thank you, Mayor, and thanks for all you guys do. We really appreciate it. And I'll take a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the joint resolution declaring Thursday, May 1st, 2025 as Murray Arbor Day.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Discussion on the motion? If not, Brooke, would you call the roll?
Mr. Hawk,
Aye.
Mr. Pickett,
Aye.
Ms. Cutter,
Aye.
Mr. Goodman,
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us, you guys. Okay, Mayor, one more.
Is that funny?
We have the consent agenda, and Mayor Hales will be presenting.
Okay, let me grab.
Okay, so this will be a confirmation of the mayor's appointment of Sonia Jensen to the Public Safety Advisory Board for a term beginning March 1st, 2025 through March 1st, 2028. Mayor?
Thank you, Diane. Sonia, are you here? Come on up. How are you? Thanks for being here. She's awesome. That was a great interview we had with you. Thank you for being here. This is Sonia Jensen, and we would like to present her name to you as a consideration of my appointment for the Public Safety Advisory Board for a term beginning March 1st, 2025 throughout March 1st, 2028.
Okay, I will accept a motion.
Oh, there we are, right there. All right, I move to approve confirmation of mayor's appointment of Sonia Jensen to the Public Safety Advisory Board for a term beginning March 1, 2025 through March 1st, 2028.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Would you call the roll?
Mr. Hawk,
Aye.
Mr. Pickett,
Aye.
Ms. Cutter,
Aye.
Mr. Goodman,
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Aye. Okay,
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, we appreciate it.
Congratulations, Sonia, and thank you so much for your willingness to serve. We really appreciate it. Okay, now we're done with the consent agenda. We're at public hearings. And the first public hearing is to consider an ordinance relating to land use, which amends the general plan from low-density residential to residential business, and the zoning map from R18, which is single-family low-density, to RNB, which is residential neighborhood business. This is for the property located at 13th East and 6500 South. Zachary Smallwood is presenting. Hi, Zach.
Hello. Whoa, I was really close to that. Hello, Council. I'm praying that these slides work today. Last time was phenomenal. So as Councilwoman Turner had mentioned, this is a request from Post Investments to amend the future land use map of the general plan and the zoning map from low-density single-family residential to residential neighborhood business. So the property we have that we're speaking of is right here on 13th East, a little bit north of 6600 South. It used to be an old fire station that was county-owned. At some point in the past, it had closed. I apologize, I don't know the specific date. And we annexed in this area in 2003, and it's kind of sat pretty much vacant for quite a long time. I think somebody tried to use it as a house once, but it's just not very good use for a residence. So somebody has come forward to request that to be RNB. And here's the current zoning, so it's R18, and then we have some general office. Typically, we don't like to do spot zoning. However, we feel that the general office wouldn't really have felt really appropriate here. That could have allowed a lot more intense use as opposed to the residential neighborhood business that's been much more successful, especially along 9th East and Winchester. It's been a much more successful zone, in our opinion. Here's a map of the general plan. It looks pretty close to the zoning map, it just that has broad categories as opposed to the zoning district. And with every application, we request that they provide a survey or a legal description, and that's showing this here. So low-density residential, this designation is intended for residential uses in established or planned neighborhoods, and you can see the different zoning districts there, all the way from A1, which is a minimum of 1 acre, to R210, which is 2 units on a 10,000 square foot lot. Residential business, this allows for mixed use, but in a different way, not the transit-oriented, high-density way. Attached dwellings or commercial development within primarily residential neighborhoods that is small in scale and has little impact and provides services for the nearby residential and or recreational areas. We highlighted recreational areas because the Canal Trail is just to the north of this property, and we see that as an opportunity to kind of activate that space. We can't get into specifics, but you could have a myriad of different types of businesses there that could contribute to some of those recreational areas. You could have like a small cafe, or like a dentist office, things like that, art studios, things like of that nature. And there's only one zoning district with this, that's the RNB, which is what they've applied for. Some of the zoning standards in the RNB compared to the R18. So substantially lower height by right, so only 20 feet compared to in the R18, which is 35. They are allowed to request to go up to 30 feet with a conditional use permit that's reviewed by the Planning Commission. Front yard setbacks are 25 feet in the R18 and 20 in the RNB zone. Rear yard setback is 25 feet or 20 feet in the RNB zone. Side yard setbacks are 8 with a total of 20. So like an 8 or 12, 10 and 10, however you get to 20. Same with the RNB. Corner yard setback, it's not going to apply here, it's not on a corner, but that is 20 feet. Parking required is 2 spaces per dwelling in the R18, and in the RNB, it's based on use. And I am going to admit that I missed something on this slide, but it's not all that important. So findings here, general plan provides for flexibility in the implementation and execution of the goals and policies based on the individual circumstances. Amending the future land use map of the general plan will allow for cohesion with neighboring residential uses. The proposed zone map amendment from R18 to RNB has been considered based on the characteristics of the site and the surrounding area. Those potential impacts of that change can be managed within the uses allowed in the RNB zone. And the proposed zone amendment from R18 to RNB conforms to important goals and objectives of the 2017 general plan and allow for an appropriate development of the subject property. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on this on January 2nd, 2025, and voted all in favor to forward a recommendation of approval. So with that, the Murray City Planning Commission and staff recommend adopting the ordinance that amends the general plan and the zoning map. And I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Are there any questions at this point?
I think during the committee of the whole, you pretty much answered all our my questions anyways. The only thing is that I just didn't get the last page where it says staff recommendation in the other slide. I did not get that in my packet. But it's going to be an art studio, correct? Is that what you said?
That's what the applicant would like to do, but what's important is to make sure you're looking at the entire zone.
Right.
And all the uses within that zone.
Okay.
This applicant does want to do that, but it could change.
Okay, thank you.
Could change.
Yep,
Yeah, can always change.
it can always change.
Okay. All right, great.
Question.
Oh, yes, Adam.
Zach, in the RMB zone, are there any incentives for adaptive reuse or repurposing?
Currently, no, there are not any. It's encouraged to use the existing property, but there's nothing that would incentivize anyone to keep the property.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Adam. Okay, if there's nothing else, I will open the public hearing for public comments. Okay, seeing none, I will close the hearing and take it to the council for comments, a motion, or whatever you want to do.
I will make a motion to consider an ordinance relating to the land use, to approve the ordinance relating to land use amends the general plan from low-density residential to residential business and the zoning map from R-1-A single-family low-density to R-N-B residential neighborhood business for the property located at 1300 East, 6500 South Murray City.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion on the motion? Okay. Brooke, would you call the roll?
Mr. Hawk?
Aye.
Mr. Pickett?
Aye.
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Mr. Goodman?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye. Thank you, Brooke. All right, we have one more public hearing. And this is to consider a resolution approving the 2024 Municipal Wastewater Planning Program Report, and Ben Ford will be presenting. Welcome, Ben.
There goes the applicants.
Good to be here.
All right.
Okay, appreciate a few minutes of your time tonight, Council. So
Welcome.
before you is the wastewater planning program report. It's an annual report that has to be submitted.
Yep.
It's in your council packets. I'm just going to give a brief highlight on what's included in it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to interrupt. So this is a annual required report. Gives a financial overview of the wastewater fund. We have to report on our system maintenance if we've had any SSOs, sanitary sewer overflows within the year, and how we are doing on our management plan, and how we are doing with our master plan, if there's any updates needed there. So the Murray collection system, it's a grade 3 system. We have about 136 miles of pipe in the system, with pipe sizes ranging from 6-inch to 42-inch. And in 2024, we had 140 new residential connections and 2 new commercial connections. So this report does just cover Old Murray. serves about 9,600 connections. Everything above 9th East is serviced by Cottonwood Improvement District, and there's a small portion of the city that's served by Mount Olympus as well. So this just covers the Murray City service area. Within our system, we have 3 lift stations. These lift stations lift the sewer flows up to they pump it up where they can gravity flow down to the Central Valley Treatment Plant. And in total, these lift stations service about 2,600 homes. So the financial overview section, this just states basically, are we doing as a fund what we need to do to keep the fund stable? Do we have adequate increases? Are we funding our CIP program, funding our operations and maintenance program? And with the current funding in place, we are doing that. We have to report on the average monthly user charge. It was $55.58 last year. And we have recently done an impact fee study in 2023, and the impact fee for last year was $12.02. So we have to report on our sanitary sewer overflows. A Class 1 is a major overflow. It's over 5,000 gallons, affects more than 5 private structures. We did not have any of those, which is a good thing. We did have one Class 2, which was a basement backup that was caused. We found a brick in the sewer main once we got done cleaning it and pulled that back. So as part of our maintenance system as well and preventing these SSOs, we have a company that comes in every year and treats the lines where we have roots, known root issues, and treats those roots and kills those roots. And so we treated about 8,800 feet of footage with roots. So last year, part of our maintenance as well, we cleaned the system, we televised the system. Our crews, we have 2 combo jet trucks out there that clean the system. We have an awesome wastewater division. They cleaned a record high last year, 194 miles since I've been a part. And as far as I can trace records back to, that's the most that's ever been cleaned. So kudos to the guys in the division. We also got a new TV van last year, which allowed us to inspect more of the system. We cleaned TV to a record high 46 miles of sewer pipe as well. So our system is a grade 3 system. I'm listed as the chief DRC operator. We have 3 grade 4 operators that are DRC 4 grade 4s and 2 grade 1 operators that help maintain the system. So part of that is our sanitary sewer management plan that we have to implement and follow. As part of this, we have to audit the plan every year, make sure it's being effective. If we need to change anything, it's a living document. So this last year, we audited our SOPs. We changed how we function a little bit in the department, and we updated those. The capacity assurance plan, the CCAP plan, that's also part of the master plan. That was last updated in 2021, and it's due to be updated this next budget year. It will receive an update. We have to report on that as well. So overall narrative, our collection system is in good shape. Our lift stations have all been recently upgraded and updated. Overall, with the age of our system, we do a great job maintaining it, and it's in phenomenal shape for the age. So that's my report. Does anybody have any questions? Riveting information.
Are there any questions? I just have one question. I mean, you've done a great job on this, and we really appreciate it. I'm curious, how much does one of those big, what do they call, sewer, the big sewer
The combo
cleaning.
trucks.
Yeah, how much are they?
They go up every year. So this year, we're looking at about $620,000 for a new truck.
620,000?
Just for reference, about when I started in the division 9 years ago, we spent $350,000 on a truck then.
Wow. Oh
and
my
it's still
goodness.
basically the same technology. That's just inflation, unfortunately.
That's crazy. And
Yeah.
how long do they last?
Typically 8 to 10 years. When we get to that range, we start to have quite a few issues, and we look to start replacing them.
And how old
around
is the one we have?
8 years.
Okay. Is it on your wish list?
It is, yeah. It is on your budget, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
got it. All right, hearing no other questions from the council, I will open this public hearing for public comments. So are there any comments from the public regarding it? Okay, seeing none, I will close the hearing and turn it back to the council for comments, a motion.
I would like to make a motion. I move that we approve and adopt the 2024 Municipal Wastewater Planning Program Report.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Brooke?
Mr. Hawk?
Aye.
Mr. Pickett?
Aye.
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Mr. Goodman?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye. Okay, motion passes. And let's see, we'll continue on to the business items. And the first one is to consider an ordinance amending Section 13.40.050D of the Murray City Municipal Code, changing fees in the Murray City Cemetery. And we have Bruce Holyoke presenting. Welcome, Bruce.
Thank you. It's nice to be here with you this evening. As discussed a couple of weeks ago in Committee of the Whole, the Murray City Cemetery is proposing that we change or raise fees to come more in line with the fees that are charged by other public cemeteries in the valley. And so we discussed a little bit more detail in that meeting about our proposals. And so it is our hope that the council will consider amending Section 13.40.050D and change the fees of the Murray City Cemetery.
Okay, do you have the specific fees and how much and?
Yeah, would you like me to go over that
Yes.
right now? Okay.
Yes, please.
So our resident fee right now for, well, let's start with, I would like to start with the standard lots and the monument lots. There would be no change in those because they're not anymore available.
Right.
So there would be no changes in that. There would be a change in the infant lot because there are some of those available. Currently, it is $400 for a resident, and it's $200 for a resident, and we're wishing to increase it to $400, and for a non-resident to $600 for an infant. So that's the lots. And then if we go into the standard opening and closing, right now a standard and a monument to open that, to bury a person, for a resident is $700, and for a non-resident, it's $500, and we're proposing to raise it to $700. And for a non-resident, it's $750 currently, and we're proposing to raise it to $900. Then if you look at the disinterment, which is it's currently for a resident $1,300, and we're proposing $2,000. Disinterments are messy. They're not something that we like to do. Our cemetery is unique in that our soil conditions are more stable and allows this more often, and so it is requested, but it's a messy situation to go through. The resident fee for a reburial to double depth is actually is at $2,000. Right now, we're proposing $3,500. That is a big increase, but that is to discourage that from happening, just because it is so difficult to do. And then if we look at some of the other ones in the niches that we offer now for cremains, currently it's $200 to have that engraving done, and we're requesting that it be raised to $250 to cover the cost, what it costs us to do that now. And that pretty well, and the other big thing is our overtime. When we're requested to do things after 3 p.m., we are at $100 an hour. We would propose to raise that to $300 to help discourage some of that from happening. But if it does happen, we want to be able to cover some of our costs for the overtime. And also on weekends, we're proposing to raise it as from $100 an hour to $150 an hour with a 3-hour minimum. So it'd be, we feel like that is fair. And that is lower than some of the cities and in line with some of the other cities as well. So Okay,
Thank you, Bruce.
thank you.
All right. Are there any questions from the council?
Yeah, not so much a question, but I know we had this discussion a couple weeks ago, just for the benefit of people that weren't able to watch the committee of the whole meeting, but are either tuned in now or sitting here. This is not a business where we're trying to make money. This is just to recoup costs that are incurred in this business.
Correct, that is correct. Yeah, we're not making money on this at all.
Right.
So,
Okay. Thank you, sir.
thank you,
It's
Scott.
more of a service.
Yes.
Okay. If there are no more questions, I would appreciate a motion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, I move to approve an ordinance amending section 13.40.050D of the Murray City Municipal Code, changing fees in the Murray City Cemetery.
I second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion further? Okay. Brooke, would you call the roll?
Mr. Hawk?
Aye.
Mr. Pickett?
Aye.
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Mr. Goodman?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye. All right, we're now on business item number 2, which is to consider a resolution approving amendments to an interlocal cooperation agreement among Murray City, Bluffdale City, Draper City, Sandy City, South Jordan City, South Salt Lake City, West Jordan City, and West Valley City relating to the operations of the Metro Fire Agency. Doug Hill is presenting. Welcome, Doug.
Thank you. As Council Member Turner just read, Murray is one of 8 cities that has their own fire department that are members of the Metro Fire Agency. The purpose of Metro Fire is to provide cost-sharing measures with other city fire departments and also to provide mutual aid assistance from time to time. The Board of Trustees, which I am a member of and represent Murray City on Metro Fire Agency, recently voted to amend the interlocal agreement, and that's what is before you tonight. There are 2 minor changes that are being recommended. The first one is to remove the requirement that the Operations Committee of Metro Fire, which is a subcommittee of the board comprised of the fire chiefs of the cities, is to remove the requirement that they have to comply with the public and open meeting laws. This has been reviewed by city attorneys, and it's been determined that they are not, the committee itself is not subject to the public and open meeting laws. So that's the first change. The second change that's being recommended is that the requirement for preparing an annual budget be removed from the interlocal agreement, because the Metro Fire Agency does not collect revenue or have a budget that they have to put together every year. There's no need for having a requirement to prepare a budget. So those are the 2 changes, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Are there questions for Doug? Are you okay with these changes, Doug?
I am.
Okay.
I've talked to GL, consulted with GL Critchfield, our city attorney, on these issues, and we're comfortable with the changes.
Great. All right, then I would appreciate a motion. Go ahead.
I make a motion that we approve a resolution approving amendments to an interlocal cooperation agreement with the Metro Fire Agency.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
All right, are there any comments on the motion? Okay. All right, then we will have the roll.
Mr. Hawk?
Aye.
Mr. Pickett?
Aye.
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Mr. Goodman?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye. Okay, motion passes. All right, we are at number 3 of our business items, which is to consider a resolution authorizing and ratifying the execution of an interlocal cooperation agreement between the city and Salt Lake County to provide election services to assist the city in conducting the city's 2025 municipal election. Brooke Smith will be conducting.
Thank you.
Be presenting.
Yeah, this is just a request to enter into that interlocal agreement so the county can help us run our election for this year. Earlier today, I presented about some of the scope of work that they do with the cost, and I just would like to turn it back to the council. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Sounds good. Thank you, Brooke. We discussed this specifically in Committee of the Whole, and you did a great job, so thank you for that information. So do we have comments? No, everybody's good? All right, I would appreciate a motion.
I would like to make a motion to approve and authorizing and ratifying the execution of an interlocal cooperation agreement between the city and Salt Lake County to provide election service to assist the city in conducting the city's 2025 municipal election.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Brooke, would you call the roll?
Mr. Hawk?
Aye.
Mr. Pickett?
Aye.
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Mr. Goodman?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brooke. Okay. Now we are at our 4th and last business item, which is to consider a resolution authorizing Murray City to enter into a development agreement with the Redevelopment Agency of Murray City and Rockworth Companies for the redevelopment of property owned by Murray City and the Redevelopment Agency of Murray City beginning at 48 East, 4800 South, and including a substantial portion of the property referred to as Block 1, located in Murray City, Salt Lake County, Utah. Chad Wilkinson presenting.
Thank you.
Welcome, Chad.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just as a recap, for those that may have not been at our previous RDA meeting that we had just a few minutes ago, the RDA board did consider this item. This item now requires approval by the City Council because this particular project has property owned both by the RDA, Redevelopment Agency of Murray, and the City Council. So this is the portion of the meeting where you're wearing your City Council hat instead of that Redevelopment Agency hat. So here we are. We talked about the project. This, of course, is Block 1. Talked a little bit about the project and what is being proposed. You can see the rendering of that project there in front of you on the screen. I'm going to just spend very briefly, go back through some of the points that we made in the RDA meeting, and out of respect for those that were here for that, I'm going to keep these comments brief, but I do want to go through it again for those that weren't in attendance. This is again the rendering of the residential portion of the development that I'll get into in just a moment, the details of that. Again, this agreement forms the backbone of a whole bunch of other agreements. I shouldn't say a whole bunch, we know the number. It's 4 additional agreements. We've got the 2 disposition agreements, which are the transfer of land agreements. We've got the participation agreement, which covers the RDA's portion of this agreement, which is the amount of tax increment dollars and monies that would be spent as part of this project. And then we've got a parking agreement that I'll talk a little bit more about in just a moment. Within the agreement, of course, there are things that both parties do. In this case, we have in the development agreement some contributions by the developer, some contributions by the RDA and by the city. I'm going to go through these really briefly just for the sake, again, of the public that may have not been in attendance at the RDA meeting. But Rockworth has proposed a project that includes 150 residential units, close to 50,000 square feet of retail office, and private parking, including surface and some underground parking. They also, as part of that, will contribute the 0.42 acre DAR property that they are currently under contract with the Brown family to purchase. We estimate that the capital expenditure of this project would be right around $63 million by the developer to build this project, an increase of sales and property tax annually of about $500,000 for a little over $500,000 for the project. They've agreed at the city's request to build at a lower density than what's allowed by the current code. They've also agreed to give the city 32 structured parking spaces for use by the city. It's designed to meet the form-based code. We've had a lot of discussion back and forth with the developer about that, and that there will be new tax increment generation, which we talked about in some detail at the RDA meeting, of about $278,000 annually. In return, the RDA board voted to contribute 2.34 acres of property valued at $3.69 million, $3 million toward a parking structure to be paid as the work is completed, and up to $1.5 million for gas line relocation. That's a gas line that's needed to be moved for a long time. This just provides a mechanism should the developer have to be involved in that. We anticipate that Enbridge will likely do that work, but again, this has been an ongoing negotiation. We wanted to make sure if that did occur that we had some way to account for that. So the RDA did vote on that piece of it just a few minutes ago. Well, now the city is here to vote on their participation in this, and the city would contribute about 3/4 of an acre, of land that's valued at $1.21 million just across the street from us here. A couple other things of interest. There is a feasibility period for the developer to perform their due diligence work to make sure that there's no other environmental or other encumbrances on the property that may need to be addressed. If they do find something that is potentially makes the project unfeasible, they can come back to the RDA board and city council to ask for some additional help. That's completely at the discretion of the RDA, of whether the RDA wants to contribute additional tax increment funding to the project. Should the council, the RDA decide that they don't, they can just simply, the developer could terminate the project, or they could complete the work on their own. The developer has that option to do that as well. Should none of those options work and the agreement be terminated, then the RDA has agreed as part of the adoption of their portion of this to purchase the DAR property back at the developer's cost. Got the project anticipated start date there soon. I think of course, the city's anxious and the developer's anxious as well to start this project as soon as feasible, possible. This is the site plan, the most recent site plan, just to orient the public. On the very north side of the screen, the top is 4800 South, State Street to the east, Hanover Street to the west, and Fifth Avenue to the south. This is a proposed public plaza there's been some work done already. We'll talk about that just a little bit more in a moment. This is the proposed parking garage, underground parking garage, takes up quite a big chunk of Block 1. The 32 parking spaces that the developer has proposed to contribute as part of that development. Just want to talk just really briefly, I'm not going to go into the same amount of detail as I did in the RDA meeting, but these are just some comparisons of, there's been a great point brought up by many of the citizens about making sure we want to keep some open space and public gathering space in this downtown. This just compares the public downtown space in Holiday, about half an acre, to what we have as part of our planning efforts, which is just under 9/10 of an acre. Again, comparing that to other places that folks might be familiar with. Farmington Station's little area there that people may be familiar with. It's about just almost 8/10 of an acre, about 0.78. A little bit more if you add this little piece that's kind of in between the movie theater, but it's still a little bit less than what we have there. So that just gives you an idea of the scale of what we have available to us for those. And I bring that up, and then just again, we've got some other public space. I bring that up because this development, Block 1, is not the full story for our downtown. We plan to do a lot of great things in the downtown. The city's put together a lot of great plans over the years. This is a potential plan for that public open space, public plaza area that's just right across the street from us here. You can see the Murray Mansion. There's been some good planning work done to make that into a great public space, public gathering space. And you can see from those drawings I showed before that there's room to do that. Again, part of this is that this is one piece of the puzzle for our downtown. Our downtown, of course, contains a lot of property that will be under discussion over the coming years for projects that will help us revitalize our downtown. And this is one important, critical piece to that puzzle. And we again, staff would recommend that the council approve the resolution authorizing staff to enter into a development agreement with the developer for the development of Block 1. Be happy to answer any questions if I can.
Thank you, Chad. I would also like to say how much I appreciate the work that you've put into this. You've met with each of the council members one-on-one to make sure that we understand what's going on, the implications, answered all of our questions. And you've done some really good work, and I really appreciate it. So
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Anyway, other comments for Chad?
I'm not going to go into my spiel that I did during RDA meeting. If anybody wants to watch that, they can, but I do want to make some comments that I need to make during the council meeting. The first question that not question, just a piece of information, that the city is giving the following, and you okayed this, that we are giving $3 million for parking. We're giving the employees parking lot for $1.21 million. We're giving Block 1, which is $3.69 million. We do not know about the gas line or lines yet. Enbridge said that they would help, but we don't have a contract or anything like that yet from Enbridge. It's just word of mouth, correct?
We've had conversations, but no contract yet.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I also have the understanding that if the developer walks away, and Rockworth, which is Rockworth, has bought the Dar building from the Brown family, then the city, and I asked you, is it the RDA agency, and you said it was the RDA agency, will have to pay Rockworth back for the cost of the Dar building. And you said that was correct.
Yes.
And we don't know the cost of that yet, correct?
There is a cost. That might be a good question for the developer if you want to know that.
Okay, and is the developer still here? Can you tell me the cost of the Dar building yet, or has that not come to an agreement? Can you come to the microphone and state your name, please? Thank you.
Adam Davis with Rockworth Companies.
Okay.
And at this point, I cannot disclose the cost of the DAR parcel.
Okay. And when will that be disclosed?
We're working with Chad and staff to work through this due diligence period that we had discussed.
Okay.
And so after that period has expired.
Okay, and you told me during the RDA meeting you're going to buy it on April 11th, is that correct?
No, that's not correct. The due diligence period expires on April 11th.
Okay.
And the contract contemplates closing
On April 30th or something like that? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. And then I asked how much money there was in the RDA account, Chad, and you said it was $8 million, correct?
Just over $8 million in the fund balance.
Okay. And then I asked about the Triumph, which is Old City Hall, and that check, which the city has not received, correct?
The city and the developer have not closed on that transaction.
And then that money goes into the RDA, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then we talked about what due diligence was, and I asked Rockworth if they got the it's my binder, but it was the survey that the city council spent $18,000 on the survey, and they said they did get the survey, which talks about no residential in this Block 1 area, correct? I asked that.
You did ask that, yes.
Yeah, and they got the survey, which states no residential at all in that survey. So that was told. Now, to close, I'd just like to make a comment to those that are here to listen about the downtown development agreement. I have been told apartments belong downtown. Maybe the city made some mistakes. I would accept this if the city didn't plop apartments all over the city. I agree the city needs to do something on Block 1. I agree with that. But not with 150 apartments that are going up. Plus, we have 450 apartments going up on Burger Lane on Commerce. Plus, we have the Murray Crossing and the Current, and we do not know what is going to be happening since I've been here since 1985, it was called the Fun Dome and then the Galleria. We don't even know what that looks like and how many people are going to be coming in there. So I asked if anybody has been downtown here at night, and I do. I go to Wingers. I like their food. Some people don't, and that's fine. But my question is, how is Wingers and Ice House and Club 48 and Tea Rose and the Desert Star thriving without the apartments? That was just a question that I threw out. So with that, I'm done.
Are there further questions of Chad? Adam, do you have any?
No.
Okay. All right, then I would appreciate a motion.
I'll move to approve a resolution authorizing Murray City to enter into a development agreement with the Redevelopment Agency of Murray City and Rockworth Companies for the redevelopment of property owned by Murray City and the Redevelopment Agency of Murray City, beginning at 48 East, 4800 South, and including a substantial portion of the property referred to as Block 1, located in Murray City, Salt Lake County, Utah.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there further comments on the motion? Okay, then Brooke, would you call the roll?
Mr. Hawk?
Nay.
Mr. Pickett?
Aye.
Ms. Cotter?
Nay.
Mr. Goodman?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye. Okay, that's our last business item. Now we go to the mayor's report and questions you might have for him from the council. Mayor?
Thank you, Diane. Just one observation, if you've noticed, it makes all the difference when you landscape. That museum, our mansion is being landscaped, and they've done a beautiful job. And they did a little research. Kim Sorensen and a few others did a research, and they will be painting that building. It's a cream. It's the original, from the original, with a little green on the siding of it. What is it? Yeah, windowsills, thank you. A little green there. And the sod, I think, being, Kim, you hear the sod will be put on tomorrow? Sorry. Sod tomorrow? Oh, he's coming forward. Here he comes. Just tell us a little bit about what they're doing over there with the...
So I should let Bruce come up, but the sod is ordered. As soon as the weather cooperates and they can cut sod...
The sod's here.
Oh, is the sod here?
Yep, it's already out there.
Then the mayor knows more than I know. As soon as the weather cooperates, the sod will be laid. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, you're welcome. And tell us a little bit about what you're talking about, the cream color.
If you drive by the mansion, you'll see that the porch is kind of a yellowy color. And maybe you like that, but most of us didn't like that, and our cultural arts people really didn't like it. So we had a company that had done some investigation on the interior of the colors. So the interior colors are all what we believe were original colors, and when you see them, you'll understand what I mean. They look great, but they're probably not something you would pick in today's world. So we had them come back and analyze the exterior. We had a couple of pieces of the exterior that were original, and they got down to the original colors, and it's kind of I call it cream. Others call it a real light yellow for the main color with a tint of green around the trim. It's going to look great, but it's definitely going to look different.
And yeah, it's great. I mean, honestly, it's a beautiful, beautiful building. And I'll tell you, 14 years ago when I started here, I'm not sure I even understood what restored meant. I understand now. It means dollars, but it is absolutely beautiful with the theater. So May 2nd will be the open house for our mansion, the new museum. June 2nd will be the open house for the Armory. That's the building that's over by Ken Price, Boys Girls Club. That will be an indoor event center, and you need to see this. It's absolutely beautiful. It'll hold 300 and so many people. We don't have anything like that in Murray here, so we're excited. So we restored that building. We are probably about 3 or 4 months away from finishing the restoration of the Murray Theater, which is absolutely beautiful. And then we will continue to restore, with the council's approval with money, the Townsend home. But it is, I'm telling you, when the citizens said they wanted restoration, we have done that. We are restoring. There's some things that we're not able to afford to do, but we have done those major 4 or 5 projects, which we're pretty proud of, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So May 2nd will be the next thing that will be happening for the Murray Mansion. We would love to have everyone attend, and that's my report, Council.
Thank you, Mayor, and we are adjourned.